Hello everyone, it's Bulldog Met here. This time I'm on my own because that's a special edition and I just couldn't wait, so I asked my good friend Shubham to lend me the studio, so to say. The reason I wanted to record today is because I have decided to quit vaping, which is basically the last vice I have. And I thought, even though it was supposed to be further down in the roadmap, I decided to showcase the fifth pillar, or elements of it, of how to live consciously and how to use management techniques, um, practices from certain agile methodologies, project management methodologies, quality management, and cognitive behavioral therapy practices, and how to apply it in your everyday life. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. If you enjoyed this episode, then I would like to ask you to leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. And if you're part of the core team or crew, then please comment down below something like committed to self-development, so I know that you have watched the video from start to finish. Now, before I start, I also wanted to say that we will go on a summer break, so there will be approximately a week or maybe 2 weeks break with the next videos. Otherwise, we have made a commitment to release a new episode every single week. And long term, we also committed to create a website where, for those of you who are subscribers, we'll be able to create a login and get access to all the free materials I'm going to upload. These templates, nutrition plans, concepts, everything that this channel is about. All right, buckle up. So let me start by sharing my screen. So today's topic is using planning and objectives to overcome addiction, showcasing a conscious lifestyle planning with my attempt to stop vaping. First, when you try to commit to something, it's quite important to have an objective and a vision. Now, my vision with this channel and what I would like to achieve is something I'm not going to reveal just yet. But I can tell you that this quitting smoking or vaping will lead us one step closer to getting to that grand vision. Okay, so on the objective, it's important to define what are we trying to achieve. In this case, stopping vaping. That's the last vice I have remaining. I no longer drink. I don't party. I've never done drugs. So I don't really have any vices. Even with caffeine, I'm sort of like, I'm not addicted to caffeine, so I'm deploying it and using it sparingly to keep my sensitivity high, and also because sleep is of utmost importance for me. The second thing I wanted to showcase is I think this technique comes from quality management. I'm not entirely sure where did I pick it up. Um, IT service management uses something similar within problem management, root cause analysis. It's called 5 whys. The reason it is important to identify a why, especially if you're trying to overcome an addiction, is because the deep meaning behind this why is what you can fall back on when the temptation will come. God forbid you slip. To carry on, to persevere, you will need the whys. So the first level of why for me is to live free, free of addictions and shackles I placed on myself. Part of my core identity, which I wasn't really conscious about until recently, and vision is centered around freedom, free of narcissistic abuse, free to live my own life, um, declaring sovereignty over my body, and drawing boundaries about physical abuse, declaring sovereignty about my soul, love, and self respect when I walked away from a toxic relationship. And freedom always comes with responsibilities as well. And yet, I have a deep craving of freedom. Um, it has always been part of my political identity. I'm a classical liberal, um, even from a religious perspective, but I don't want to get sidetracked, so I'm not gonna get into this in this video. Um, I've already liberated myself from the narcissistic injunction. I no longer have a toxic superego or implant in me, which is great. But my body still contains an addiction, which is basically a burden on me, financial, pay for it with my health. And it is something that holds some element of control over me, which I don't really like. Um, it's also related to smoking in my family. Growing up, everybody was smoking in my family. Um, my grandma only stopped after she had a throat cancer, got operated on. After that, she went cold turkey and stopped smoking, but everyone else in the family continued smoking on, as if nothing happened. My uncle passed away from lung cancer. He was a heavy smoker as well. And I started smoking relatively young because of the people pleasing, and I wanted to fit in. I was a bit like, um, I would do anything in order to be accepted and be part of teams or gangs, just to have some sort of bonding. And because it was cool to smoke, I foolishly started smoking. I quit smoking in 2012 because I had a higher calling. I really, really wanted to become a dad. Plus, I got stuck in my journey in terms of physical development. So, both in kickboxing and in weightlifting or strength training, nothing worked. So I was like, okay, the next step is going cold turkey on smoking, going cold turkey on caffeine, um, and let's see what happens. And it yielded the results. I managed to stop smoking, and I wasn't vaping or doing anything back then. Um, and I broke through a lot of plateaus, and my ex-wife and God gave me the greatest gift in my life, Marky, my son. So it was worth it. However, I had relapses. Um, Namely the first time when my ex-wife gave me some sort of an ultimatum to give up on martial arts or move out. Um, I was a little bit astray. I was trying to show no emotions, and my best friend gave me a call. He was living in Holland to visit him, and he wanted to help, just give me company. But he and his girlfriend were both heavy smokers. Um, and I came back to England with a drive to uh, learn how to ride a motorbike, and as a smoker again because I was smoking whilst I was in Holland. Now, smoking is really, really heavy on your lungs. It impacts your vital capacity. So, um, it interfered with a higher addiction I had, which is Kyokushin. And so I stopped smoking, but it was quite painful. But when I had my next emotional breakdown, I relapsed a little bit again. And I went to therapy. I was working on myself, but I felt like this is too much. I have to stop smoking, but I can't fight an addiction and all the demons I have in my head at the same time. So instead of going cold turkey again, I transitioned to vaping. Um, my second why, therefore, is to maximize cardio. Fits into my objective roadmap. Um, I will attempt my grading again uh, at the end of November in Kyokushin, and I will do anything in my power to be ready. The third why is the promise I gave myself when my uncle passed away. Um, I think he knew what was going on with my mom, and so quite often he tried to create situations where I could spend a bit more time with him, with his nuclear family, and I was safe there. So I was really close to him, um, and I was devastated when he passed away. And on his deathbed, he asked us all to stop smoking. Um, the fourth why, although using the five whys in this respect is a little bit different than if you're trying to, when I apply it to self-identification, because, or in a root cause analysis classically, because here it's um, more like it only has a numerical value. Um, because you don't need to dig any deeper. And normally you would use it in a layered manner. Um, let's say I wasn't conscious about my other connections about smoking, so my first why would be because I want to live healthier. Why? Why do you want to live healthier? Okay, then you think about it. I want to live healthier because I want to delay death, or at the very least, live healthy until the Lord sets up the meeting with him. Um, why? And then it comes to um, point five, because I made a promise to myself as a kid when my dad had a stroke. He was a heavy smoker, he was a heavy drinker, otherwise a very good person. But I was devastated because even though he survived the stroke, they operated on him, took quite a good part of his brains out, and he was never himself ever again after that. Um, Emotionally, he was still a kind, caring, positive person, but he uh, he couldn't work um, in the capacity he used to work, and he was working a lot and achieving a lot. And after that, my mom uh, divorced him, and I I still remember to this day I was standing in the corridor, and I made myself a promise that if I ever will have a family, I won't leave them. I will do everything I can to keep the family together, and I will do everything I can to be there for my son. So that's the deeper level. The fourth point, because it jumped to the fifth, is that because I will need all my spiritual, physical, and mental energy and strength to continue evolving, to be a better man, to be a better dad, to be a better martial artist. And yeah, that's it. The reason you need this why is, and you really, really need to think about it, is because when you're trying to achieve an objective, there will be challenges. Life will knock you off your feet. It will take away the surface level motivation. You you might feel overwhelmed, and if you're trying to compete in something, sometimes your body is giving up, and all you have is your will, and in your mind you just want to exit. You want to quit. But if you have a why that you are really, really, really attached to, then at that moment in time, you can recall it. Why the hell am I doing this? I'm doing it because I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to my son. And then I'll say, no, I'm not giving up on you, Marky. Okay. Um, Sorry, it was a little bit emotional because I placed myself into a similar situation and just recalled that memory, which is why you could feel all these emotions coming out of me. The importance of finding the deeper meaning behind your goals, temptation and failure. From a practical perspective, nicotine withdrawal, it takes 2 to 4 weeks. I have not looked up the half-life of nicotine, and it's a little bit difficult with this shit because with cigarettes I could calculate, okay, how many milligrams did on average I smoke a day. All right, that's the half-life. Withdrawal starts almost immediately after you stop consuming nicotine. Then when is the first time you can expect the withdrawal symptoms? And based on the half-lives, roughly that amount of time is the hardest, and then it will get easier and easier and easier. There's a psychological craving. Um, I identified associating vaping with focus, concentration, getting into a calm mindset, even though it has absolutely F all to do with calmness. It's just because it's an addiction. When you go through withdrawal, then your body releases stress hormones, and when you give the drug, then oh, the withdrawal symptoms are gone. So that stress induced by the very thing you're consuming goes down. It's a bit ironic. And it, on average, I have not referenced it, but by the time I will have the website ready and upload this template there, so you can use it and make it your own, I will have referenced it. I read it somewhere that in order to form a new habit, you need to practice it consistently for 21 days. All right. Defining the SMART objective. It's not just business jargon. Um, it's actually very powerful. Let's go through what SMART objectives are and how I applied it to that specific case. It's an acronym. The first word is specific. So I will stop vaping, define the who, the persona, irrespective of where I am, where or under what circumstances, from the 1st of August 2025, because of my whys, which is what I outlined over there. That's specific enough. Your objective needs to be measurable. I want to get rich. Okay, what the hell does rich mean to you? That's too broad of an objective. You need to break it down to smaller increments. And then how do you know you get there unless you define it, right? So I will consider myself clean after 21 days of absolutely no nicotine consumption. Why did I define the measure like this? I did it because on average it takes 2 to 4 weeks for the physical withdrawal symptoms to go away. So the median of that is 3 weeks or 21 days. And the way how I'm going to go about this is I'm going to replace it with a different habit, which I'm going to explain later. And in order to form a habit, you need to practice it consistently for 21 days. And 21 days is a very specific number. Achievable. Um, it has to be realistic. So, if my smart objective was to, all right, I have a grand vision, which is basically to buy land somewhere in the countryside, preferably either in Wales or in Kent, um, create a hombu like dojo, a lot of animals, and create a charity, employ a lot of people, and help troubled kids, especially abused ones, with this framework, give them a form of discipline and self-respect through martial arts. Um, also, use it as a no-kill animal shelter. Um, having animals around is also good for mental and emotional health. So that would help the kids as well as the animals, and also to teach them certain professions. Uh, and in order to do that, I would need to employ a lot of people. So that's like it's not achievable in 2 days. In order to do that, I need to create a roadmap, um, break it down, how create a business plan, how to, and then me stopping smoking is 15 levels down from the grand vision, but it is part of a delivery plan moves that will move me just one tiny step closer to that grand vision. But because I broke it down to this small subtask, it is achievable, right? And I will define in the how to set up my environment for success on how I will make it achievable or how I will increase my success. Relevant, as I just explained, it aligns with two short-term goals of mine. One of them is a dependency of my vision. I gave it out. I just could not control myself. I made too many references in this in this presentation, so I told you, and it is time bound because 21 days milestones. I'm going to create milestones, not just because I love project management and that's a habit of mine, but also because it fits into engraving and embedding good habits and engraving and embedding certain things from my own um, therapeutic journey or practices. I still need to practice every day. I'll explain later what those are. So, milestones to celebrate. First 24 hours. Usually that's the hardest. If I can go 24 hours, no, let's rephrase that. On the 2nd of August, when I will have been 24 hours clean, I will celebrate. On the 4th of August, so on the third day, I'll celebrate again. Tick that box. At the 1 week mark again, 2 week mark again, and at the 3rd week mark again. Um, why am I creating these? You might ask, and why is it useful? I'm going to detail it here on the motivation and subtasks. So, how am I going to achieve it? First of all, I need to set up the environment and the timeline for success. We defined that it's going to be 21 days. I created a start date being the 1st of August. Today is the 30th of July. So I'm not going to start today. I'm not going to start tomorrow. It will start tomorrow at midnight. Why? Because I need to get rid of all of this, and I have a full effing pack over there. Go through the house, make sure that before midnight, 31st of July, there's absolutely no vape around me. Why? Lead us to no temptation. Referring back to my second video, right? Um, we usually get triggered, and our addictions and desires are triggered by what we see. Okay? Um, Identifying the association and the behavioral replacement. So, in my case, smoking, I associate it, although vaping less so because it's a different smell. I still, as of today, consider myself as a smoker, just one who chooses not to smoke because I love the smell of tobacco. It's disgusting for most people. For me, it brings back happy memories from my dad. It brings back memories when he taught me how to mix certain tobacco, how to how to roll it, and then how meticulously he prepared it by peeling an apple and then pressing it in a big box so that tobacco did not become too dry, but also it gave it a little bit of apple flavor. And every time he lighted a cigarette, and his cigarette had a very specific smell, it released happy hormones in me. It made me happy because I love my dad, and I'll always do. um, I have not really been able to answer to myself the oral fixation, but I know that doing this is something I just like doing, and it's great. And part of the reason why I'm doing all this is because I don't want to vape whilst recording, because I don't want to promote this shit. Excuse my language. Um, okay. Behavior replacement. Now, at least that's a good thing. So, I was thinking about it in the last couple of days and I found this. It's you don't even need to go to a pharmacy to get that. It's called Orbis Inhaler Nasal Stick. And that nice mentally feeling gives the same sort of hit in my chest. And it's I haven't a clue why, but in my case, it sort of smoothens, eases the nicotine craving. So instead of puffing this, I'll do this. Oh, I feel better. Um, I also need to go to the pharmacy and pick up my Ventolin because I ran out of it. As I was trying without a plan to stop vaping. um, and I was like, no, usually you do this, apply it to that. So I only have the steroidal one and I don't want to use it. So tomorrow I need to pick up Ventolin. It will also help me getting prepared for men's physique because my lovely coach jacked up my uh, jacked up my cardio requirement in 200 minutes at 140 beat per minute per week on top of the Kyokushin training, the 13,000 steps per week, and 4 lifting sessions because this is getting serious now because it is stubborn fat. And using my asthma spray, especially because it's if there's too much pollen, I get allergies. It will help as well. But I also am going to try something out. It's called a lung detox. Maybe it's a little bit closer. No, the camera won't focus. Anyway, I bought it on Amazon. It's an aroma diffuser with 300 puffs, and it has something called mulane, 575 milligrams. I need to look it up what the hell that is. Thyme, it's a calming agent, natural, and mint, which is a flavor I quite like. So that's sort of like a good replacement until I can just get rid of the bloody habit. Um, the other two things I'm going to do to set myself up for success is planning the first 72 hours, which is critical. And that is why I set the start date for the 1st of August. On Thursdays, those are the heaviest days at work. My work schedule is quite flexible, but on Thursdays, I need to catch up with APAC early in the morning. Usually I log in at 7 a.m. And at the end of the day, there's the weekly business review at work. So I finish at 7 p.m. Sometimes if there's something or there's an emergency, then of course I stay behind. And Thursdays are the most stressful days of my week. I don't want to deal with the additional stresses the first bloody day. But Fridays are relatively easy. And for this weekend, I planned a lot of fun with Jimmy and other things. Motivation and subtasks, creating rewards. It's important to break it down, okay, 21 days, um, and create incentives for yourself. So, how am I going to do that? I will take time off from my from my super ego, if you like, to ride my Harley this Saturday instead of studying or working on my channel, which is why I'm recording this under emergency circumstances to celebrate the first 24 hours win. And I really, really would like to ride my fat bob because due to the hip replacement surgery and the recovery and other stuff, I wasn't able to, and it's good weather, and I hardly rode my bike this season, so it's calling. The second motivational thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add thanks, acknowledgement, and gratefulness to my bedtime prayer. So I will thank our Heavenly Father for guiding me and giving me enough strength for surviving that day without giving in to temptation. Um, at That also refers back to my sleep routine, and also practicing that kind of gratefulness is good for you. I've already recorded the first part of the neurotransmitters and the happy hormones, but it was more than an hour, and I guess I gave my friend's editor a little bit of a headache. At the 1 month mark, um, I will have considered myself totally free of the addiction. So I will purchase a Mercedes experience or something similar with Marky, and will fund it partially with the money I'm going to save on not spending it on bloody nicotine products. So at a 2 month mark onwards, I'm going to set up a standing order for early repayment of my car, part of the reward framework. And once I paid it off fully, I will buy a different car. You can not buy it, I'm going to PCP one because I realized that it's smart to, well, it works well for me to buy a car or PCP finance a car that is 3 or 4 years old with extended warranty and change it every 3 or 4 years. Okay, expected challenges, risks, and issues. How does physical withdrawal look like? Strong cravings to smoke or vape. I explained how am I going to go about it. Feeling irritable or low in mood. Um, I don't think I will be that irritable, but we'll see. But I will double down on basically on mindfulness. I won't go to the office for the first week. Um, well, next Wednesday I will have to, but nonetheless, by next Wednesday I will have been 2, 3, 4, 5 days off. So it will probably be a little bit easier. And worst case scenario, I will purchase certain peptides and will inject myself in the morning to have some extra serotonin and oxytocin in me. Unfortunately, as I read about them, they only work short term, so it will not get me through the full day, but I will figure something out. I'm quite good at mindfulness. Um, I can do this. Every time when I'm gonna have a craving, um, I will use this, and I will create a mantra, referring back to the third point of our uh, dojo oath. With true vigor, we seek to cultivate the spirit of self-denial. I'm a karateka. This is not a hobby for me, that's my life. I can do this. I'm practicing what I preach. I'm practicing the spirit of Kyokushin. I'm already feeling a lot bit better. I will double down on singing, sunlight, walks in the nature, cuddling my dog Jimbo, uh, to use oxytocin and serotonin against the irritability. Um, Feeling hungrier than usual or difficulty sleeping. Well, I purchased a product called Fade Out. They're not sponsoring the channel. Um, it has magnesium, GABA, all the right ingredients. I don't use it often, but for the first couple of nights, I will do it. Double down on the meditation as well, and it will knock me out, I'm sure. Um, in terms of being hungry, well, I'm 9 weeks into a cutting diet, so hunger is something I'm dealing with anyway. I purchased apple cider vinegar. I ran out yesterday. I think that's why I had some acid reflux and stomach issues anyway, but now I have enough. And I will double down on the fibrous, low-calorie vegetables for the next 4 weeks. It's good practice when you're doing a cut anyway. So that's how I'm going to proactively manage these potential risks and issues. Okay, backup plans handling failure. Right. Should I slip? Let's consider it. I might. Why? Because I'm human. Um, if that happens, I will acknowledge the relapse. I will do a retrospective on, okay, why did I relapse? What happened? How was I feeling? What else happened during that day? What did I surround myself with? Where was I in my mind? The reason I will do that and conduct the retrospective is because we'll learn from it and we'll try to pay attention next time to avoid it. The other promise I make to myself is that I'm going to practice empathy with myself whilst holding myself accountable because I am retrospecting, but instead of that's absolutely in line with the current practices my therapist asks me to do. I'm not going to scold myself. I'm not going to um, generate or give additional guilt to myself. Instead, I will practice the empathy I usually have towards people I love. If I have difficulty loving myself in the meantime, then I will remind myself that when I'm scolding myself, I'm scolding little Mate in me and little boy. Um, well, I can't be angry at him. It's just a boy. It's like Mark, right? Um, but the accountability is that, okay, if I slip, then the 21-day count restarts, right? So the rewards I set out for myself will be delayed, which is another important point I wanted to make. I will quit. uh, I will just, should I fail or relapse, I'll just reset the timeline and reattempt. Carry on. Carry on. If you slip once, you acknowledge, why did it happen? How can I? But I'm still a non-smoker. I just had a slip. Stop stop punishing yourself. That way you can minimize the impact of one slip up. If it's really, really difficult and I slip up 3-4 times, I get back to bad habits, I will have a lot of anger issues, whatever. I don't think so. But should it happen, then I will consider phase quitting and additional chemical aids, oxytocin injections, maybe a calming agent, using nicotine patches, and then I don't need that shit. I will succeed. Right. And that's it. I thought it was going to be quite a quick one, but I tend to talk a lot, so it ended up being 40 minutes or so. Oh gosh. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. And if you watch it till the end, comment committed, so that I can see that you watch it till the end, and also that you can express your support in my next 21 days to get rid of the last addiction I have, the last vice I have, and I would appreciate your help. With that, God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed it. Once the website is up and running, you'll be the first one to know. And this, alongside with all the presentations and templates, will be uploaded. And then you will be able to get it for free and make it yours, because you can apply this to any other goals or objectives you would like to set out. Bulldog Matt, out.
Pain I felt is paid